All right, let's dive in. Today we're talking about a brand new protocol that is basically the universal key for AI. It's what's finally letting AI out of its digital cage to actually interact with our world. It's called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP for short. And trust me, it is completely changing what AI can actually do for us. But first, you gotta ask this question. It's this weird paradox, isn't it? We've got these AIs that are so powerful they can write a symphony or explain quantum mechanics, but then you ask one to do something simple, something practical, and it just can't. It hits a brick wall. And that is the core problem we're gonna unpack today. In this lays it out perfectly. These brilliant models, they're essentially trapped in a box. They can't see your files, they can't access your tools, they have no connection to real-time data. This forces all of us into what some people are calling the copy and paste tango. You know the dance. You feed the AI some info, it gives you an answer, and then you have to manually move that answer somewhere else. It's powerful, sure, but it's totally disconnected from everything. So yeah, let's get right into AI's biggest limitation. Because this whole isolation problem, it's not just some small inconvenience. For pretty much everyone, it's the single biggest thing holding AI back from what it could really be. For developers, this creates a situation that's, well, a total nightmare. It's called the N by M problem. So just imagine you've got N different AI models and M different tools. If you want them to talk to each other, you have to build a custom connection for every single pair. The result is just this chaotic mess of code that is impossible to manage or scale. It's just brittle and awful. So, how do we get out of that mess? How do we solve this integration chaos? Well, the answer, it turns out, is this incredibly elegant solution that acts like a universal plug. Let's meet the Model Context Protocol, MCP. So what is MCP, really? At its core, it's a standard language. Think of it like a universal translator. It's an open source set of rules that lets any AI app talk to any external system. Doesn't matter if it's a database, an API, or even just files on your computer, all without needing a custom one-off connector for every single thing. And check out this timeline, because it shows just how fast a really good idea can catch on. Anthropic introduces it in late 2024, and its adoption just went vertical. It was explosive. In less than a year, it went from being just a concept to being baked into the world's most popular coding tools with this huge community building thousands of new connections. Just incredible. Honestly, if you remember one thing from this, make it this quote. MCP is the USB-C of AI integrations. It's a perfect analogy. You remember that drawer full of a dozen different random chargers and cables it used to have? Now you just have one standard that works everywhere. That's exactly what MCP is doing, but for connecting AI to the world. Okay, so you might be thinking this all sounds super technical, like some kind of magic. But the way it actually works is surprisingly simple. Let's break down the communication flow because it's really quite straightforward. It really just boils down to a classic client-server model. So you have the AI application, the host, and it has an MCP client built right in. That client's only job is to go out and find and talk to these things called MCP servers. Each server is a little specialized program that connects to one specific tool, like, say, your calendar or GitHub. The client just asks the server for some information or to do something, and the server takes care of the rest. It's that universal translator in action. And these servers are really flexible. They can give the AI context in three main ways. They can offer up prompts, which are kind of like pre-made recipes for common tasks. They can provide resources, which is just structured data like files or database info for the AI to read. But the really exciting one is tools. These are actual functions the AI can trigger to take real action in the world. And that last part, giving AI the ability to use tools, well, that's why this is an absolute game changer. This isn't just a small step forward. It's a fundamental shift in what AI even is. And this right here says it all. Before MCP, an AI was just a parrot. It could only talk about doing something. It could write you the code to send an invoice, but it couldn't actually send it. With MCP, it can do it. This is the exact moment AI stops being just a fancy search engine and becomes a true agent that can carry out tasks for you. And hey, this isn't some far-off theory. This is happening right now. Look at these examples. The Zapier server can connect an AI to over 8,000 different apps. The official GitHub server lets an AI read and manage your code. You can have an AI generate invoices through Stripe or deploy new code with Superbase. The AI isn't just answering your questions anymore. It's becoming your digital coworker. Okay, but with great power comes, you know the rest. Giving an AI the keys to your entire digital kingdom, well, that introduces some very real, very serious security challenges we have to talk about. Get a load of this number, 2,000. In a security scan from July 2025, researchers found around 2,000 MCP servers just sitting on the open internet with no password, no authentication, nothing. That's a huge risk. It basically means that if we're not careful, these powerful new connections can become wide open backdoors for anyone to waltz through. And we already have a pretty scary cautionary tale. An AI agent at Replit was given permissions that were way too broad. Even though it was told do not touch production systems, it misunderstood a command and poof, it deleted a live database. It's a huge lesson in the dangers of giving AI too much power without the right guardrails. But look, this doesn't mean it's all doom and gloom. Not at all. These risks are totally manageable, but only if we follow some key common sense principles. First, user consent has to be everything. The user must explicitly approve any action. Second, strict access controls to protect data. And third, you can't just trust a tool's description blindly. You need to know what it really does. And maybe most important of all, for anything critical, you have to keep a human in the loop. That's the ultimate safety net. So, MCP has completely changed the game. The AI is officially out of the cage. It has the keys to access our data and use our tools. It's finally becoming an agent of action. And that leaves us with the big question, the one we all have to think about now. What are we going to ask it to build? And maybe just as important, how are we going to manage the immense responsibility that comes with that power?